Wary observations, righteous discussions unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I am your host, OMNI ETC, Omni, etc. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Back at it again. I've been trying to reformat the show, do some different things, as well as, just brand building in general. Speaking of which, if you don't already follow me on all social media not all social media platforms, because I'm not for everybody, but Facebook, YouTube, and X. Those are the three that I'm rocking out on. YouTube, Omni, etc. channel is my gaming channel, so buyer be warned. Facebook, I get about as risky as I do here, especially since Mark Zuckerberg said we're allowed to finally tell the truth over on Facebook. So we can say whatever we want. He took away all the restrictions. It's a beautiful time on Facebook. People are telling us exactly how they feel, and I'm all for it. Because why do we want these people? Why do we want people that we don't rock out with to hide who they truly are? You can do what you want to do, say what you want to say, but you don't have to say it that way. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're back. I'm back. I'm doing more podcasting now because as my school winds down, I've been going hard at school, which I'm going to keep it light because I actually have a group project to finish tonight, which I'm overseeing. But I've been going hard at school for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. And it's a 3-year program as opposed to the 4 because I got absolutely no breaks from school. That's not true. The only break I got was a winter break. Outside of that, no time off. That means, spring break was out. I missed a lot. I passed up on a lot of opportunities to go outside. And I go outside every day, but I mean outside. I passed on a lot of opportunities to, be out, mingle, be amongst my people, my folks. Hopefully to leverage this IT degree and, get a better bag. Hopscotch tax brackets and see what the other side's about. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hate taxes. I'll tell you one thing. Everybody that talks to me about, that's on a certain side of life and how much money they make over there and all this stuff, they cannot shut up about taxes. They cannot. That's the number one that's the number one part of the conversation. That's the number one part of the discussion. What am I going to do about these taxes? And I feel them. Because they don't know that I'm actually a business owner. I've been paying taxes myself. And life was so much simpler when I was just on the side of the game where I got a refund check every year. It was simpler. It's its own kind of easier, but it was a simpler time. Let me just say that. So, got a show for you all today. Name of the show, Tit for Tat, This Ain't That. I think people got it really confused out here nowadays. Now that things are going back to what they normally were. Of course, Orange Man is in, Orange Man is back in the seat. Everybody, not everybody, but, a lot of people that don't really know what's going on, they're hating it. Which I've come to the conclusion that I can't really hate a president. I can't bring myself to hate a president. I'm going to tell you why. Being president of America is to do a disservice. I even say America, let's say a democratic nation. To lead a democratic society, some people somewhere along the lines are going to be underserved. It is what it is. Just in the system of voting, for people to vote for what they want means other people have an opportunity to vote for what they want. And whoever wins, yay, you won. But the demographic of individuals that didn't get what they wanted out of the voting process, they will feel forever underserved by that administration. Doesn't matter what you can offer them, doesn't matter what you can tell them. The fact that the person that they wanted to be in the seat isn't in the seat, and the fact that the person they didn't want to be in the seat is in the seat, they're going to have a problem with it. They're not going to do the due diligence. They're not going to look deeper. Hold on, my seat is down. Let me zoom out a little bit because it's cropping my head off, and I don't like it. I'm going to turn it a little this. Actually, I'm going to tilt this up. Get my camera right, pardon me. But, get that out of my face. Okay. Certain people, move this out the way. Certain people are going to have a problem with it. I don't even know why that's on my desk. Anyway, certain people are going to have a problem with it. Certain people are going to have a problem with it. Now, the thing that they have a problem with is just that they don't believe that they're getting a fair shake. But those of us that are of the wave, that are of the mind, that are, of a certain caliber, we understand that inherently life isn't fair. And so, regardless of who's in that seat, we have to plan for either outcome. Prepare for the worst, but pray for the best. And that's why I can't be mad at whoever's in the seat. Because if I prepared appropriately, what do I have to be mad about? And then we could go on and say, oh, it sucks. No. Yeah, that's true. But it only sucks for the people that didn't think it was possible that Donald Trump would be elected in office again. I knew he was going to win. Oh, that's some good pineapple tea. I knew he was going to win. Ask me how I knew. Because America loves a martyr. The moment that his ear got clipped by that bullet, and then he stuck his fists up, it was a wrap. I knew he was going to win right there. I knew at that particular moment, this is sold up, he got it. Okay. And honestly, I didn't care for either candidate. If I got to be frank, I didn't care for either candidate. But the amount of freakouts, the amount of media doing what the media does when they don't like a person, the amount of biased media half reporting what's going on in order to rouse the rabble, the people that they know are already looking for this man to mess up and do horrific things. The amount of false reporting, as the term has come out, fake news and all of this, we knew that this was coming. I knew this was coming, right? And everybody's looking for the guy up top to be accountable for his actions. And he should be held accountable for his actions. Good, bad, right, wrong, he should be held accountable. There's a bunch of stuff that he's done right that I don't hear anybody talking about. Along with the faux pas and the mess ups and the slip ups at Doge, the firing people and then having to hire them back because now they understand that it's unconstitutional. And the stuff that's inherently unconstitutional that they do, I don't trip about. The reason why I don't trip about it is because, well, that's the system working how it's supposed to work. Someone in the system tries to do something unconstitutional, but we have a system of checks and balances in place to ensure that whatever was done wrong or handled incorrectly is swiftly remedied. So he writes an executive order. It's found to be unconstitutional. Supreme Court injunction. They figure it out. Okay, you can't do that. And then turns out you can't actually fire all of those people in the Fed. And then they get their jobs back. Now, it sucks for the time that they were off, but they also get paid for the time that they were off. So they essentially got a free holiday to the XYZ and the third. They get paid for that time off. Right? But it does affect the American people. Let's be completely honest. It does affect the American people that have to be serviced by those departments that those people were let go from temporarily. Now, to the stuff that Doge is finding, they're finding a bunch of things where it seemed like past administrations, and the past administration was Democratic. The past administration was a Democrat. Not demonstration, administration. The past administration was a Democrat administration, right? What's being found is that people were taking the money, blowing it off, taking taxpayer dollars, the money that you and I work for, right? If you pay for your own internet, like I pay for my own internet, just to be able to, and you pay, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to talk to you. Of course, I pay for my studio monitors. I pay for my backdrop. I pay for the software that I stream through YouTube on from. I pay for the camera. You know what I mean? The camera that's this camera is like $500 that I'm looking into right now. This microphone, this whole setup, everything in my residence, holding down the residence itself. If you're a tax-paying citizen, is what I'm saying, you should be very interested in some of the things that Doge has found. Now, this episode isn't about Doge. It's really about accountability. And that word gets tossed around with a lot of people not even knowing what that word means. But it's really about accountability. And when we talk about accountability, we're really saying people bucking up, saying, yeah, I did that. It was messed up. I messed up, and I probably shouldn't have. Being held accountable for your actions. Which, listen, I don't have a hell to throw anyone in. Nor do I have a heaven for them to ascend into. The true form of accountability, I can't hold anybody more accountable than the consequences of their circumstances, because that's really how how it shakes out. How it shakes out is you do something messed up, and there are consequences for doing something messed up. Whether you do something messed up to people, or you do something messed up to your family members, friends, or if you're just breaking the law, you think is sweet out here. You do something messed up. Now, there are people that get away with it. There are people that professionally get away with it every single day of the week. Okay? But it doesn't mean that you will. Doesn't necessarily mean just because they got away with it that you will. And some of us know that we can't talk ourselves out of every situation. So when you mess up, when you slip up, and it costs you dearly, don't be surprised. With that, I want to bring it to the forefront. The first, hold up. New said I'm doing things a little bit different nowadays. We're doing things a little bit different. But like I said, it's a Word Up podcast. Let's jump on in. So please, like I said, don't forget to subscribe. Get with me on all these social media platforms. You'll see them cycle in and out over here. Get with me on all these social media platforms. Okay, Facebook, YouTube. If you're into gaming, Omni, etc. is my gaming channel, and X. All right, a lot of things going on X. Now, this is the thing. We got to be accountable for our actions. And we have to be willing to embrace the consequences should our actions lead us down a road we didn't want them to lead us down. Not that you didn't anticipate the road. I say anticipate the road. Anticipate, like if I rob a bank, you know what I'm saying? I rob a bank, it has like $2 million in this bank, all right? Which would be a pretty crappy bank to keep that much money in. But let's say it's got $2 million in this bank. I rob the bank. I attempt to rob the bank. Now, in my plans, I planned out a path to rob a bank. All right. But also, we know that robbing banks are wrong. You're breaking the law if you rob the bank. And if they catch you robbing the bank, there are some consequences behind that. So when you rob the bank, knowing that it's wrong, knowing that you're breaking the law, knowing that there are consequences behind it, and you decide to go through it anyway, I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't want to hear any whining. I don't want to hear any, oh my God, the systems are act up against me. No, you decided to rob a bank at gunpoint. What did you expect was going to happen? And that is the crux of today's show. That right there is the crux of today's show. People thinking stuff is sweet, and then it's not. So, let me pull this out. Is it this? No, that's a video element. Ah, here it is. It's labeled. Nice. That's not the right topic. That's not the right one. We're going to get to that one, but that's not the right one. This is the one that I wanted. Earned privilege. Earned privilege. Yeah. Earned privilege. Meet Jimenez Arias. I think I'm saying it wrong, but we're going to go to a video real shortly. What this obvious college grad just did. Apparently, she wasn't here legally, and she was deported by ICE after she was found to do a there's an aspect of the story that her father also was picked up by ICE. I'm trying to remember if he was speeding or was she speeding. I think she did the illegal U-turn. I believe she did the illegal U-turn, and her pops was speeding, and they got deported by ICE as a result of it. Salutation! Shout out to the Cellulite Podcast. Shout out to Cellulite Podcast in the building. You know what I'm saying? Peace, 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 brother. So, earned privilege. Should she stay? Considering now the what is it? The conditions of her staying, I think there was something that she was protected by. And 47 revoked that. And so her family is no longer protected. But she made a traffic violation, got pulled over by police, and then ICE was called to deport her. And then her father did the same thing earlier. So we got to understand that like she's a college grad. She was a great student. And this is what her family's saying. Her family's saying she was a joy to be around and whatnot. The family is never going to talk down about their person, unless you're like a really shitty individual, right? But should she be allowed to stay, considering she was violating our traffic laws? And knowing that your protection is up in the air, your protected status as your visa is up in the air, the conditions of your visa are up in the air during this administration. Listen, all I'm saying is I live in Kentucky, one of the worst states you could possibly drive in. I'm doing the speed limit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not only signaling with the light, but I'm also sticking my hand out the window when I'm making a left turn. If my wife is in the passenger seat, I'm telling her to stick her hand out the right window, because I'm trying not to be deported. None of that. I'm following all the guidelines. My registration is updated. My insurance is good. Especially where I live, insurance is high. Insurance where I live is higher than Snoop Dogg in the dispensary. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But got full coverage insurance. My tags are updated. You know what I'm saying? Everything's good on my car. Got all my papers. Do the speed limit. I don't have issues getting pulled over as a black man in America. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of times I don't have an issue getting pulled over as a black man, because I know my shit's good. I know my shit's good. I know my shit's good. But she got pulled over, as did her father, as we'll find out. And then they said, "Oh, you're not even supposed to be here. Yeah, we gonna call ICE. You gotta go back to Mexico tonight." That's got to be a harrowing experience. That's got to be a horrifying existence. To think everything's all good and stuff is so sweet that I'm doing whatever I want to do on the road, and then get pulled over, hand them the license and everything, the registration, and still not be good because I'm not even supposed to be in the country right now. Let's go to WTVC News Channel 9 down in Georgia for the report. And of course, as always, fair use.
The family and friends of a 19-year-old student from Dalton say a traffic stop landed her in an ICE detention center. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Josh Rowe. This is Jimena Arias Cristobal. Arrest reports we obtained show Dalton police pulled her over on Monday for not following a no turn on red sign.
That's right. Well, they took her to the Whitfield County Jail, where authorities say they determined that she was in the country illegally and moved her to that ICE center in Columbus, Georgia. The Whitfield County Sheriff's Office entered into a jail enforcement model agreement with ICE back in June of 2020, which allows them to do that.
However, people who know the teenager, who is a star runner and an active member of her church, say she is not a criminal and does not deserve to be deported. News Channel member.
Hold on, let's rewind it.
Not following a no turn on red sign.
That's right. Well, they took her.
Okay, so it wasn't an illegal turn. She didn't follow a no turn on red sign, which is an illegal turn. Excuse me.
The Whitfield County Jail, where authorities say they determined that she was in the country illegally and moved her to that ICE center in Columbus, Georgia. The Whitfield County Sheriff's Office entered into a jail enforcement model agreement with ICE back in June of 2020, which allows them to do that.
However, people who know the teenager, who is a star runner and an active member of her church, say she is not a criminal and does not deserve to be deported. News Channel 9's Mary Beth Mangrum leads us off tonight.
My mother, because we had to pay a lot of stuff, and I've been helping her out because she doesn't know English, and it's just a lot of weight on us both because my little sister, well, she can't help a lot because she's only 9.
Dalton police say they pulled over 19-year-old Jimena Arias Cristobal for making
Jimena Arias Cristobal. Okay, he said Jimenez. Okay.
an improper turn at this traffic light, and they discovered she was driving without a proper license.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Shout out to my man, Marcus Castillo. What's up, Mac? What's up, Mac? Shout out to Mac in the building. Hold on, is that? Yeah, that's the overlay channel. Pull that up a little bit. Shout out to Mac in the building. Shout out to Mac in the building. Salute, salute. Jimenez. Okay. Okay. I had to see it. I had to see it. Okay. Jimenez Arias. All right. Because I was typing in H because they didn't actually spell the name on this clip. This is what this clip is titled. Let me show you. Traffic stop to ICE custody, Georgia student. They don't say her name, so I didn't know how her name was spelled. But this hit my desk, and I wanted to use this as a barometer for what we're actually going to get into, the heavier stuff, here in a minute. But, well, Mac, let me know what you think in the comments, dog. Do you think that they should have left her? Should have left her alone, or should she be in an ICE detention facility right now as she is? Let's see. Oh, let's get back into the clip because they was talking. Hold on.
And then Monday, when she was arrested, we were all just blindsided.
Just 2 weeks ago, Arias Cristobal's family tells us that they went through a similar situation with her father. They tell us that he was exceeding the speed limit here in Tunnel Hill, and when he got pulled over during a traffic stop. And during that traffic stop, he did not have a driver's license.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Hold on. I was kind of leaning because, you know what I'm saying, she was so successful in school. She was doing so well in school and whatnot. I was kind of, hold on. I got to bring it back to the main screen. You don't have a license. You don't have a license in this country. You're driving and you're whipping all over the street, wild and whatnot. This is what I have a problem with. This specific thing is what I have a problem with. I'm gonna take this down for a second. This is what I have a problem with. Exactly, Mac. You got to it. You got to it before I could, Mac. Well, if she's undocumented, driving without a license, it should be fair punishment if we were in another country as Americans and guess we would be in trouble legally. Exactly. Exactly. And here's the bigger problem, Mac. Because she's not actually of this country, the number one go-to every time is gonna be get them out the country. The first step is gonna be processing them to get them out the country because they're not a legal citizen here for many of our laws to apply to them. People always think, oh, they've been here forever, they should be allowed to stay. But they're staying in a different country when they still are citizens of another country. Understand, any action taken against citizens of another country can be seen as an international incident. So, as America, as ICE, the first step would be to take them out of the country. The first step would be to take them out of the country. Unless they did something super, super egregious. Super, super. I'm talking grape. I'm talking deletions. You name it. Something super, super egregious. Armed robbery, that sort of thing. But the first step is to get them back into their homeland. Why are we even dealing with you? We don't have to deal with this. You whipping all across the street, making wild wide turns on a do not turn red light. Almost crashed. You don't have a license to begin with. I can tell you that they probably didn't have accurate registration, because how are they going to get registration if they don't have a license? Oh, I'm sorry. That's part of the procedure. You also need insurance. How do you have insurance if you don't have a license? First thing they ask for when you call up to get insurance, to get coverage, is, oh, how many tickets you have? Okay, and then when you're done lying about all the incidents, because you don't really want to talk about, you know, saying one or two of the tickets that you done picked up, and then they ask for your license number. Then the insurance company asks for the license number, and then they just act like they're on the phone with you, but they act like you didn't lie about it. They just move on the conversation, and they don't even bring up the 2 tickets, but they adjust your policy accordingly. I'm just telling you what the procedure is. Your licenses comes up so many instances for so many things for your car. So you don't have it. So she didn't have insurance on the car because she didn't have license to get insurance. She also didn't have registration on the car because you need a license for that and you need insurance for that. But if you didn't have a license, you don't have any of the other 3 anyway. And she probably got with these fake insurance scams on social media. It's kind of played out now. I don't think people do it now as much anymore. But they used to do the fake insurance thing on social media. These cops can run your plates from their computer, and they see who has insurance and who doesn't. That's why my cousin, she was getting caught up, and we all got people that we know that don't do things the right way, and we just got to let them, because you try to tell them anything, well, nigga, shit, fuck. So you just got to let them be who they are and just pray for them. But you know what I mean, we got people in our family that get the fake insurance, and then they keep wondering why they keep getting pulled over. Oh my God, they picking on me, y'all. I keep getting pulled over. Oh my God, it sucks. Why do they keep pulling me over? It's almost like they know I ain't got the shit I'm supposed to have. Yeah, because they know you ain't got the shit that you're supposed to have. They got a computer console right here the computer console is right here where my mic is while they riding in the car. They only need one hand to type in the 6 digits of your license plate. It's like, or they might be sophisticated enough because I've never been in the cop car, at least that position in the cop car. I've never been, and they might have something that actually scans because cameras are advanced. They're using all types of tools nowadays. They might actually scan your license plate, and then they see, oh, you don't have insurance. That tag is outdated. You know what I'm saying? Your registration is outdated, XYZ and the third. We know that you don't have insurance on this car when we pull you over. But people think it's sweet out here. But if anything, this administration has proven from day one, they ain't playing with your ass. They are not playing with your ass. And, you know, people, it was this news conference that was so embarrassing. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. But it was a news conference that was very embarrassing. This news conference, it was very embarrassing. I think it was like the first day where the person that speaks for the president, I forget exactly what their position is, but they're the ones that talks to the reporters because Donald Trump or whoever the president is at the time doesn't have time to do it in their busy schedule, so they have somebody to do it. It's like customer service. It's like customer service for the country. So she's telling the reporters, like, yeah, so we're deporting all illegal immigrants from day one. They're being illegally deported. And the reporter is shooting back, well, do you really think that it's fair to deport immigrants in this country? And then she just, the speaker fired back instantly, is like, yeah, it is right to deport illegal immigrants because, you know, they are breaking laws in this country by just being here. And I know that hasn't been what's been going on in the past administration, but now we're getting back to what it actually is and what things are normal. And she's going into that whole spiel. It's like they were talking to infants. Like the reporters were infants and they didn't know that someone being in the country illegally, the key word was illegal immigrant, not regular immigrants. We love those people. I love Mexicans. Them motherfuckers can party. But I'm saying the illegal part that y'all keep trying to gloss over means that they're breaking laws in this country the moment that their toe steps on U.S. soil. Illegal immigrants. Other people that have migrated here under various circumstances and have done so legally have absolutely no problem with. The illegal, meaning you want to jump the line, you wanted all the benefits that we had from birth, but not only did you want the benefits that we had from birth, the people that actually put the work in, took the time, energy, and effort to fill out the documents that they needed to study English and learn English to a certain extent, to learn what they needed to learn to become a legitimate citizen of this country. You wanted to skip the line ahead of those people. And you wonder why so many Latino voters voted for Trump this time around. It's because they're fed up with y'all as well. Even though they thought some of y'all wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like one man thought his wife was good, but until it's signed, sealed, and delivered, it's not good. She was still up in arms and going through the system. But until the last of the paperwork's done and they tell you good, until they say you good, you ain't good, fam. You ain't good. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But let's get back to the video. We're going to wrap this up real quick and we're going to get to the next.
When my dad left, well, it was only her and my older sister to help out with the family, and now that they took her away, it's only her.
Arias Cristobal and her father are now both at the Stewart Detention Facility near Columbus. She and her parents came from Mexico City back in 2010.
They came as illegal people. They came like other people to make a better future for my little sister. For my older sister when she was 4. And they came in with no papers or anything to be here.
They tell
Boom. So what do you want? You came in with no papers. You came in to make a better future. You saw what it was. And this is what my problem is with so many people that have a problem with things going on in this country. Not with things going on in this country, because don't get me wrong, this country can be very fucked up at times. But I'm saying with people that have been here since birth, and then they act like, oh, this is the worst country to ever live in. I can think of at least, I don't know, off the top of my head, 15 other countries that are way worse to be in from a quality of life perspective. So I don't know what people are talking about. Oh, excuse me. It's that Bromlin from that peach tea. I mean, not peach tea, pineapple tea. But I can think of so many other countries with so fewer opportunities to actually get ahead. That's why these people are coming over here anyway. Don't you understand that? People are risking all of this. People are risking all of this just to come over to this country. They're risking death, dismemberment, getting shot, which is a reality. You can get shot by ICE. Like, they're risking so much life, limb, just for liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Listen, man, America ain't that bad if so many people are risking their lives to come over here. I'm just saying, America can't be that bad if they're risking their lives to come over here and do so illegally. And they got away with it. But then they started feeling them. Then they started feeling themselves a little bit too much. They thought, you know what I'm saying? They knew they didn't have papers. And they started to act like they did. They started to act like they were naturally born over here. No. No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am.
us her dad tried to secure a work visa, but had difficulty.
My dad has his own company, and they called a lawyer to see if they could get a job permit or a visa, and they said that they hadn't hit that status to get one yet.
Right, because how do you even get a job if you don't have a social security number because you didn't come through the legal channels? I'm curious as to how he was able to establish a business. Like, was it, as far as that little kid knows, he has a company, but it's not actually registered with the state. I wouldn't think that his company is registered with the state. Let me see. It was a while since I set up my LLC, so I'm gonna have to think about the process. I take that back. On the articles, it has my name, but not necessarily my social security number. And so he might have been able to set up an LLC and then register with the state, and then register for his tax EIN number federally. But come on, dog. You driving without a license, you got the car, all these undocumented people, all these people are here illegally. Salute to them for having a college graduate and all of this whatnot. She's college educated, but now she's going to be deported. At least she got her degree. I wonder if they're going to let her keep the degree. That's what I wonder. I wonder if they're going to let her keep the degree.
Cristobal was 4 years old at the time. Her family says the deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program, stopped accepting new applications before she was eligible. Immigration attorney Terry Olson says there aren't many options for kids in that situation.
Most individuals who could only qualify for DACA or who entered illegally are not going to have any pathway.
In Dalton, Mary Beth Mangrum, News Channel 9.
Now, the police
Yep. It sucks. It really sucks. But at the end of the day, they're being held accountable for their own actions. They're being responsible. They're being held responsible for their own actions. So this college grad, salute to her. She thought she had earned privilege. She thought, and her family thought, that, listen, the father opened up a company. He was working that company. They were doing the American things. Don't get me wrong. They were doing the American things. And nothing's more American than speeding. I'm going to be honest with you. They were doing all the American things. But they felt like they had earned the privilege even though they didn't go through the proper channels. Now, you can earn these privileges. Now, let me be very clear. You can earn these privileges. But you're going to have to go through the proper channels to do so. And I know there's a lot of people on the wait list. I know there are millions of people that are trying to get into this country legally. I know you might be dealing with tumultuous circumstances that you're faced with on a day in, day out basis, and eventually you snap, and so you decide to crash out and get over the border and risk not only your life, but your family's life in doing so. I know that it's a lot better to be in this country than it is the country that you came from, because that's the whole purpose of you doing all of that. But you still have to wait your turn. You're still going to have to go through the proper channels. And if you get caught at a high point like this, you thought everything was sweet. Everything was good. It was not. And then all of that success, all of that stuff that you worked so hard for, it's not taken into account. It's not hitting on nothing because, well, the foundation wasn't solid. Sorry, but you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Does she have to stay? Me and Mac are on the same page. She got to go, dog. She got to go. You can't tell me that she has earned the privilege to, like me, if I do it, I just get a ticket. But if you do it, you don't have a license to begin with, so you broke a law. They would have revoked your driving privileges anyway, so you wouldn't be able to legally, instead of go through all of that, send you back to the country that you came from because you weren't even supposed to be here. I understand what they're talking about. Let me see. It's not. Oh, next one. Dying to twerk. Dying to twerk. There's some. And before y'all start in, because Omni, you don't like ass cheeks in your face? You must be gay, homosexual, all this. Listen. Debauchery is cool. Debauchery is cool. Having a fun time out, great. You want to party? Cool. You trying to get drunk? Awesome. You just trying to have fun out there? I get it. But the thing is, there's a time and place for everything, and you need to have some damn sense. You need to have some damn sense. That's all I'm saying. You need to have no fun I've ever had has superseded my common sense for safety. You will never see me on top of an SUV doing anything unless I'm shooting a music video. That would be a time and place because I'm trying to make visual art at that point. But if I'm not in a music video and I'm not getting an ROI for this, you're not going to see me on top of a moving SUV for nothing. All right. You're not going to see me in front of a car and people behind the wheel with it revving up for me to be look. And there's been a lot of contention, and I honestly think we're at the stage, right? Because I bring up hip hop, I brought up the music video aspect of it. I think we're at the stage in the game where if art imitates life, art is reflective of life, I'm with you 100%. But we have to be honest and we have to be honest in the notion that nowadays a lot of life has become influenced by art. Can we be honest? Can we please be honest that art influences social settings, social circumstances? You know, women see stuff happening on TV and then they start quoting the characters and chiming and saying the phrases that have been said on popular songs and things of this nature. And it becomes a cultural phenomenon, like dancing on the top of cars, like twerking in places that you shouldn't be twerking. It's like, yo, what if I just went to the airport and decided to pull my nuts out? Just to let them breathe. Listen, this is my comfort. This is what I want to do. It's my body, my choice. Just to let it breathe. Just to let it breathe. This time we're going to 11 Alive down in, I think this is Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, this one's Atlanta, Georgia. The last one was a Georgia teen. This is another Georgia teen. Let's see what they're talking about. 11 Alive news. Of course, fair use.
A young woman killed in Forest Park during a night out with friends, and now her grieving family is standing strong in her name.
Now, we first told you about the 25-year-old Amaya Cunningham story last night.
25-year-old woman, Amaya Cunningham, gets ran over by her friends. She gets ran over by her friends when she was twerking in front of the vehicle that they were all in.
On 11 Alive News at 11, and tonight we're learning she died on her aunt's birthday, and this is a story you're only going to see on 11 Alive. We're hearing from her family for the very first time.
11 Alive's Angelina Salcido is live at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road, where the accident happened about 11 days ago. Angelina, her family is now planning a vigil, unfortunately, to honor her life, something they didn't expect to have to do.
Yeah, and her friends actually organized this vigil, you guys. Now, we went to this vigil, and standing with her family and her friends, you can feel the heartbreak that everybody is feeling after going through this. Now, the night that Amaya went out, it was full of fun. It was supposed to be full of fun. It was her little sister's prom. It was her aunt's birthday. It was the start of a new beginning for Amaya as she was supposed to start beauty school. All of that cut short right behind me, and you can just feel the heartbreak from her family. And now they're trying to make sure that her life was not taken in vain.
There are no words to describe the devastation that we are experiencing by the killing of our beloved Amaya.
She was the brightest light in their first love.
Amaya has always been a beautiful soul full of love, laughter, friendship, a passion for animals, and a fierce love of her family.
The 25-year-old, the oldest of 7 siblings, her spirit just like anyone in her family.
We know how to make sure anyone else around us is having a good time. That's exactly what she was doing on Saturday, April 26th.
Cunningham was going out with friends when she was hit by a car at the intersection of Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. Forest Park police are still investigating, but no arrests have been made.
Maya's death will not be in vain. Our family will see to it that Maya gets the justice that she deserves.
Today,
I believe this video was before they knew exactly what happened to Amaya Cunningham. It was about 3 days ago. She was out with friends and whatnot. 1 second. We're going to back it up. But she was out with friends. The friends lied about what happened. They ran over that girl. They ran over that girl. Hold on, they ran over that girl. I gotta see. Let's see, Alive News. I need the video. The actual video of what happened. Here it is. I think this is...
new tonight at 11.
I think this is the one. Yep, this is the one. I thought it was the other one, but this is the one that I wanted to pick up. All right.
Well, new tonight at 11.
So we're going to see, this is also 11 Alive News. Okay. Got it locked in. We're going to get to it. All right, this is the one that I wanted to see.
11 calls for justice are growing after a Metro Atlanta 25-year-old woman's death 10 days ago.
So it was all captured on video, leading people to share her story all across the internet.
This is Amaya Cunningham. She was with friends on April 26 before she was run over and killed just before midnight. Forest Park police are investigating her death, but no arrests have been made.
11 Alive's Angelina Salcedo is live right now at the Forest Park Police Department tonight. So, Angelina, investigators say no foul play or negligence is at play here, but you actually spoke with her family, who says that is not the case.
Yeah, and that is because her friends are saying that the driver of this car actually knew Amaya and allegedly left this scene for a few hours before then coming back. Now, her family too devastated to speak publicly after this happened and after losing someone that is just so vibrant. But people are speaking out about this and sharing it, hoping that this leads to justice for a 25-year-old that was taken too soon.
Now they're going to go through all the influencers and whatnot that have broken this situation down. Let's see.
Recently, I just reported a story about a young lady named Maya in Atlanta, Georgia.
TikTok after TikTok.
You ran that girl over. You're going to jail for life.
People are posting, trying to make sense of what happened to Amaya Cunningham. The 25-year-old killed after getting hit by a car at 11:44 at night on April 26th.
Say, this is Maya. Maya.
Killed after getting...
So she was in front of, you see right there? You see right there? Let's look at it. It's crazy.
Make sense of what happened to Amaya Cunningham. The 25-year-old killed...
I wish I could see the actual video, because I don't know where the actual video is. But if you have the actual video, post it down in the comments. Replay gang, do your thing. But look back there. You see right here? Right here. This is Amaya. There's the car. She's right in front of it.
After getting hit by...
Boom, she got hit, and they drug her that distance under... She was over here. She was in this area. They drug her, and then she rolls out the bottom in the middle of the intersection. And there was somebody over there that was a witness, too. Looked like a semi.
Car at 11:44 at night on April.
It was a semi that was a witness.
April 26th.
Say, this is Maya. Maya then got out the car, then walked to the front. Maya's twerking. They run her over.
Friends who were with her that night say the group she was with pre-gamed at someone's house before they decided to go out. An issue between her and another girl happened before they all left in 3 separate cars.
During this ride, Maya even texts her friend T. The vibe was off and that she should have rolled with him. So her intuition was already telling her something wasn't right.
That car with her friend missed the exit, leaving Amaya in a car with 2 other girls and the girl she had an issue with in the black car ahead of them.
Maya caught herself having a night out with some girls she thought were her friends.
This is the intersection where both of the cars ended up here at Forest Parkway and Frontage Road. Amaya got out of the car and started dancing in front of that car. This was all caught on camera here on the GDOT cameras.
There's a car behind them that turns with them. You see Maya's body like this. They keep going. There's a second car that goes and they stopped. Maya died last night.
She sure did. That's crazy. That's crazy. But let's couple this with another story, right? Another story. Another story out of St. Louis, because this is down in Atlanta, right? But there's another story that happened before this out in St. Louis, or excuse me, it might be more recent.
Nyla Simmons' family.
Here we go with Nyla Simmons. The audio is only coming out for one ear for some reason, because I don't know what their audio is doing. I haven't seen this particular story, but I've seen a lot around it. But let's unpack what happened here. Nyla in St. Louis was struck by a fire truck because she fell off, and it's like, have you ever seen the movie Final Destination? Let me break this down. In the movie Final Destination, right? In the movie Final Destination, they have a protagonist. They see a vision of what's to come, and it's people dying in this one incident, like tragically in this one incident, and that everybody's dying a whole list of messed up ways in this one grand event of macabre. You know what I'm saying? This grand, morbid, macabre event, right? So now, you know, when the person sees the vision, the premonition before it actually happens, they scream, they freak out, tell everybody to get off the road, they cause a big commotion. This leads to a few people living through what they were supposed to experience that day, the unalivings they were supposed to experience. Now, they should all be connected to Jesus' Wi-Fi, but for some reason, they're not, because this premonition happened for some reason. Now they start one by one, you know, death, the mysterious, unknowable, unfeelable, unescapable entity, this invisible entity called death, starts picking the survivors off one by one. And they can't just like die of a heart attack or anything like that. They have to die in all of these gruesome, messed up ways for the sake of cinema and ticket sales. So she died like a character on like a Final Destination survivor. This girl, Nyla Simmons, died like a Final Destination character. She was twerking on top of a car. She slipped off top of the SUV, and a passing fire truck hit her before she hit the ground.
And friends are left remembering the teen. They say she was a social butterfly that loved a good time.
She was a social butterfly that loved a good time. Lord Jesus. All right, let's get into it.
Just that last night when she lost her life. Now her parents are asking people to learn from her mistakes and be safe while having fun. It was around 11:20 p.m.
It's crazy that, yo, I always tell my people when they get out the car, if I'm driving them around, if they get out the car, I'm like, yo, be safe. Hey, be safe, man. Anytime, and we depart, I'm telling people to be safe, because it's just not worth it. Fun on this level is not worth it. Let's continue.
Saturday night, when a night of fun took a tragic turn. Police say an Escalade stopped at a red light. Once the truck took the left turn, 18-year-old Nyla Simmons, who was dancing on top of the car, fell off. Moments later, she was hit by a fire truck that was responding to a call. Nyla Simmons' parents at a loss for words, trying to describe what happened to their daughter less than 24 hours ago.
And it's a lot of people gonna miss her, but we ain't gonna never be the same.
I'm still in shock right now.
They say Nyla was attending a friend's prom send-off prior to the accident.
We just wanted the best for Nyla. Nyla, the incident, it's just tragic the way she died, but that's what hurt the most, the way she died. When Nyla was out having fun, that's what she liked, having fun, hanging with her friends.
Nyla was the youngest of 5. She graduated from Parkway North High School last year and was set to start cosmetology school at Grabber School of Hair Design on Monday.
I'm highly distraught that I don't get to see what she was gonna become.
Her parents say they don't blame her friends. They were just teens being teens, saying no one could have ever guessed that the night would end up with Nyla losing her life.
Not one of her friends. This is what I have a problem with. I'm sorry, but this is what I have a problem with. Not one of her friends told her that it wasn't a good idea to get on top of the SUV. Not one of her friends was like, yo, you shouldn't do that. And the parents are like, and what do people often talk about and espouse on the internet? People that come from 2-parent households, especially having a father present, right? It's supposed to keep you from doing, it's supposed to magically keep you from doing things of this nature, right? And some of the talking points that we hear out on the internet, on the open web. Oh, and there's don't get me wrong, there's stats to back up the success rate of children that were raised with their father versus their mother. But in this particular instance, as well as another instance that's coming up, and that's the big story that's blowing up right now. The number one thing that we hear is hey, what's up, Chris? Shout out to Chris in the building. Where's Chris? Salute to you, sir. Salute to you and all that you got going on. But the number one thing that we often hear and is often espoused, right, is that, where is it? I'll put that right back here. Okay. The number one thing that we often hear is, oh, if you have a father in the home, it's supposed to keep you safe, keep you away from this type of activity. You know what I'm saying? She graduated, but she's still living with her parents. If my child was graduated and still living with me, they would still have a curfew. Because it makes no sense that you're out doing this activity late at night. I'm nowhere around. I'm still responsible for you because you're still my daughter. You're still living in my household. You're still, you know what I'm saying, eat my food, X, Y, and Z. So I'm still funding your lifestyle, and I don't have a say in it. I'm sorry. You're not going out that late at night. I don't care if you're 18. I don't care if you just graduate or are about to, because she didn't graduate. They said that she was about to start cosmetology school the following week, right? I'm sorry. You're not just going to do what you want to do, because look at what it led to. You throwing it back on top of an SUV, you slip off, and now you get Final Destination out of here. You got Final Destination out of here. Let's continue, man.
We all been young before.
Salute to the chat.
We all did
Salute
some
to the
type
chat.
of things where it could have ended up bad for us.
The parents wanting everyone to learn from Nyla's mistakes, hoping this incident can stop another teen from doing the same.
And we want all her people and her friends to like take this and like learn from it. Like,
don't get on top of a car, y'all.
Remembering
There's a crazy thing to have to say in 2025. That is a crazy thing to, and RIP both girls. that the one got out in front of a car. She was twerking. Her friends ran her over. And then this one got hit by a fire truck while she was twerking on top of the SUV. Back in the day when I was coming up, there was a time and place for everything. When I was coming up, you didn't do certain shit everywhere. You had fun, but you had reasonably safe fun that you didn't have to risk your life or risk your neck for the adrenaline rush just to have a good time. Another thing I'm worried about when I go out is being around people. Let me tell you something. I'm going to drop this real quick. The other thing that I'm worried about when I'm out having fun around other humans, right, is differentiating between individuals that have a drink with their good time and the people that need to have a drink in order to have a good time. Let me say that again. The number one thing I'm checking for when I'm out and about with a group of people is I'm trying to interact more with the people that are clearly having a drink with their good time, and I'm staying the fuck away from people that need to have a drink in order to have a good time. Those are two different people. Those are two different people. Two completely different people. It's like having a drink or two, cool. Getting a little buzz. Got to feel a little warm, you know what I'm saying? A little warm in your chest. Got it. If you coming through pre-gaming, you outside with the bottle in the parking lot, and then you come in to have more drinks. Like, I thought the pre-gaming was because the prices were so high in the club, so you drank outside the club because the drinks wasn't watered down, and you might as well just buy the bottle for the price of what you gonna get the shot in the club for. That's what I thought pre-gaming was about. But I've never pre-gamed, so there's that. Now, the next story that we're on, we're talking about, and I kind of do appreciate that in that last story that the parents were actually, they were like, listen, we trained her up as best we could. Two-parent household. Keep that in mind. Two-parent household. We trained her up as best we could. But she did what she wanted to do. And so we're giving this situation to God. I would be pissed off at the friends, to be honest with you. I would be pissed off that nobody told my daughter to get down, that she didn't have an actual friend group that told her that probably wasn't a good idea. That's just me. And God's still working on me. But I would be pissed off that nobody told my daughter anything. The second thing that was told to us when we were experiencing peer pressures and whatnot to do certain activities that we shouldn't be doing coming up, at least around my neighborhood, was the phrase when we talking about trying to do stuff with our friends or do stuff with our peer group. My parents, my mother and my father would send me to the side and be like, yo, Omni, of course they didn't call me Omni, but y'all ain't gonna get my government. Yo, Omni, if all your friends decide to jump off of a bridge, would you think that's something for you to do as well? And as kind of like little dopey kid, you gotta sit there with the stuck face for a second. No, I wouldn't do that shit. So like, why does everybody feel like everything that happens on social media, everything that happens in a hip hop song, a rap song, why is everything for you nowadays? These kids are overstimulated. They're overstimulated. They're easily suggestible. They're easily influenced. And so we got people twerking on top, trying to act out what's in a music video in real life. Not knowing they did that in the music video. It was staged. It was choreographed. They had people check the scene to make sure no cars was coming. Probably had it blocked off. Like Nipsey Hussle in the last time I checked. Last time I checked video, Nipsey Hussle. He's sitting outside the whip. He's hanging off the side of the car. That's dangerous enough. But I'm pretty sure he had the budget to block off that section of the highway to ensure no other cars was coming up so he could get the perfect shot. So stop trying to imitate what's going on in a music video. That's art. Art is something that is reflective a lot of the times of reality, but at the same time, it's embellished, it's hyperbolous, it's exaggerated to make a point or make a statement. It's not something that is reality. It's just reflective of it. Now, what we're seeing nowadays with stuff like this is art influencing life as opposed to just being a reflection of it. And that is a huge problem for me. If for no one else, for me, that is a huge problem. And that is very dangerous territory that we're in. That's why we got kids that's not really of the environment or the background wanting to be thugs and shit. People come from suburban, these kids coming from suburban life wanting to be street, hood, gangster, you name it. It's goofy and y'all can't convince me otherwise. And with that, we got to come to the main story that I want to spend some time on. The main story I want to spend some time on. Y'all know about Robert Hinton? No, it's not Robert Hinton. Rodney, excuse me. Rodney and Roy Hinton. Hold on. Because I don't have a video of his son, and I forgot to get one for this. Hold on, Roy. But I need to find. Also out in St. Louis. Also out in St. Louis. Oh no, it's not St. Louis. This was out in Cincinnati. My bad. Yeah, I don't know why it says St. Louis on there. But still, it's the Midwest. It's still the Midwest. The police body cam. I'm trying to find the body cam footage of the original incident. I'm trying to see the original. Okay. They got it right here in this one, so this will be good enough.
Commented online saying the release of body cam.
All right. So they talking about this body cam footage. They got a clip of it in this, so we're going to use this. Let's go to the footage. This one is brought to us by WCPO 9 out in Cincinnati. The paternal crash out specifically. Because everybody's talking about how he's a father. And I really do feel for, let me say this. it is 100% unnatural and against nature that a parent should ever bury their child. It is absolutely unreasonable to ask any parent to be cool with the death of their child. In the last story, we saw that, you know, the parents were kind of even tempered. They were kind of, chilling. You know what I'm saying? They were chalk it up to shock, but they weren't up and around. The father seemed like he was getting a little bit emotional, but they were, for the most part, they were chilling. They were, I'm not going to say at peace, because this got to be very disruptive to their spirit, but they were okay. They were okay in that moment, in that clip. They were all right for that moment. But now we got somebody completely different. Again, talking about fathers being in the life of children, right? Fathers being in the life of children. So the story goes, this young man, Roy Hinton, was Rodney's son, the man that you see down here, Rodney Hinton Jr. Roy was his son, and he was gunned down by police during a chase in which his back was turned to him, but he was brandishing a firearm, supposedly. We didn't actually see him brandish a firearm, but he was the story is that he was brandishing a firearm, and he was in a stolen vehicle with 3 other people. He gets out of the stolen vehicle. The cops are chasing him. I guess is the only person that they could chase. And he had the gun in his hand while he was running away from the cops. Cops shot him dead. Now, there's a lot of things I could say to that. There's a lot of what ifs, right? We could do the Marvel cinematic what if. What if in an alternate reality, what if the boy wasn't in a stolen vehicle with his friends? Again, peer group, friends, the company you keep. What if he wasn't in a stolen vehicle? What if he was at home chilling? What if he was playing video games? What if he was studying, right? Instead of out with his friends with a gun in a stolen vehicle. That's obvious. Would he still be alive today? Absolutely. I 100% believe that young man, if he was doing what he was supposed to do and not doing what he was not supposed to be doing, he would be alive today. All right. Now we got to see and understand, did he actually brandish a firearm? Was it his firearm? Was the firearm also stolen? Okay. Did he ever point it at the police for them to feel threatened in order to shoot him? Or did they just see the gun and they shot him? And it seems as though he was shot in the back. Now, I actually haven't seen the video of the shooting, so we're going to watch that real quick. It's going to have some voiceover of it because it's clipped into something else and they're commenting of it, but I can't find it anywhere else. So again, if y'all can find the video, please put it in the chat in the comment section. Thank you. Let's see. WCPO9 for the report. Fair use.
Shooting. And many of you have commented online saying,
a police officer.
This happened just hours after CPD showed Hinton and other family members video of that deadly shooting. And many of you have commented online saying the release of body cam footage in just 24 hours seems rushed, especially for a grieving family. WCPO 9 News reporter Andrew Rowan explains why that timeline is standard protocol for Cincinnati police.
As the chief for the city of Cincinnati and this police department, my commitment is to transparency.
Police Chief Teresa Thiede.
Okay. I can see that, because a lot of times when they first brought out the body cams, a lot of people was like, yo, why is it taking so long? They're going to alter the footage. So now they put it out within 24 hours and y'all still got a problem with it because, oh, it's too rushed. This is what I mean when I said earlier in my monologue, right, at the top of the show. In a democratic free society, someone is always going to be underserved because those that voted one way and the others that voted the other way, both of those demographic of people do not get what they want. Only one of those two people get what they want. So the people that were saying earlier, oh, why is it taking so long when the body cams first came out? Oh, it's taking so long. They're going to alter the footage to make it look any kind of way. Now they've got it up. They got the process down to putting the footage out in a 24-hour period, and people are still complaining. I think you just need to do what's most ethical for you and not really adhere to public sentiment, because public sentiment is a mixture of different sentiments. Like, not everybody is going to agree with the actions that you take. So I salute to them for the platform of transparency, though.
Telling the Buzz radio host Lincoln Ware about the moments she reviewed body camera footage with the Hinton family.
I think like any family member, they were all distraught over what they just saw.
Did he get up abruptly and just walk out of the room, or did he?
He did leave the room, yes.
All of a sudden, he left the room.
Yeah, he couldn't watch that. Okay. I just really wanted to see the body cam footage part. And then they're about to go into other shootings that happened, but we want to stick on this story. So I just wanted to see the body cam footage of that one. We're going to go to this clip. This is him being processed after being in the hospital. So let me bring you up to speed from what happened up until this point, right? So after he sees his son get shot, he leaves immediately, couldn't even finish the video. Now, what Rodney did, what Mr. Hinton did, was leave. He gets into a car, right? And then he nails the first cop that he comes across that's on the open street. It happened to be a beloved deputy. So not actually a central person of law enforcement. This is what people tend to get wrong. Sheriffs and central law enforcement are different. Like Metro Police Department and sheriff's deputies and sheriffs are, they're all law enforcement, but they're not exactly the same. They're not exactly the same. So not only he hit that deputy, slaying him, and he was working traffic at the time. So he was completely exposed. He hit him, slaying him, and, you know, he was beloved. He ain't never did nothing wrong his entire career. He had actually, I believe he retired, and then he came back out just to get out the house and make some more money. I think that's what his story was. I could be wrong on that particular detail, but he was a beloved officer, and this man hit him. Not the person, keep in mind, this is not the individual in law enforcement that actually unalived his son, but he sought revenge against a random person in uniform. And that's a point of contention for me, because it's like, I understand how you feel. Let me take that. Hold on. Before I even say that bullshit, I can't even imagine how you feel as a father, because I'm not one. I can't even imagine how he feels as a father, because I'm not one. But as I said earlier, it is completely unnatural to have a parent just be cool. Just to be cool about, you know, losing his son. You know what I'm saying? It's unreasonable to have a parent be cool about losing their child. Oh, long time no see, and that has nothing to do with you, Natasha. That's all me. Natasha Vincent is in the building. Natasha says, it's Omni ETC. Bunch of emojis I can't make out right now because there's a glare on my screen. But plus hello to Marcus, Sel, and Chris, all gentlemen of great taste. Shout out to you, Natasha. Always. You are always welcome in the Omniverse. I promise. You are always welcome in the Omniverse, Natasha. It's great to see you. So, his son was slain. He literally crashes out on another member of law enforcement, an old man that's working traffic that day. Turns out to be a sheriff's deputy, not the guy that actually took his son from him. So I can't tell this man how to feel. That's not my place. I know it's got to be tearing him up inside, him not having his son anymore. It's got to be. I know that much. But to take it out on somebody that had nothing to do with the situation at all, I'm sorry, I can't respect it. I can't respect it. If he did it to somebody, if he did it to the same person that took his son, it's like, I don't think he should have been killing anybody, let's be honest. But I understand his feelings. But with this in particular, the fact that he hit somebody with a vehicle, he hit a traffic cop with a vehicle that had anything to do with his son being taken from him, I'm having a hard time finding anything to respect about this. I'm really having difficulty with that in particular. But this is him being processed, right? So let's fast forward. He's out of the hospital now. You see the bandage on his forehead because when he crashed, he didn't stop. So he hit something and then concussion on the head. He bumped his head, and then the Band-Aid in the inner arm right beneath the bicep lets you know that there's an IV that was there. So let's see where this goes, because I actually haven't seen this.
All right, I'm gonna put this other hand in a cup. I'm gonna double lock them, okay? I need you to rotate this right around. You're gonna pinch them. All right.
And you see them socks. That's them hospital socks. You got them hospital socks. So they shackling his hands and his feet because he's a dangerous suspect. That's been accused of a very dangerous crime. And, it is what it is. That he might use his feet, he might use his hands to harm somebody else. Is what the presumption is. So they gotta do what they do to keep themselves safe at this point. Where's the chat overlay? There you go. All right.
I got a bug watch your ankles as well, so you got your. You're fine.
That was them loosening up the cuffs, making sure it's secure enough to keep his foot in there, but loose enough so he could be comfortable, which is honestly amazing. But also they have the body cam on, so they're not going to do anything egregious to mess up the process of him being processed. So.
Oh.
Okay, so that looked like blurred out documentation because they don't want to give anything away for the courts. Is this a sergeant or a supervisor? He's got a cap on, and not every officer wears a hat. So I think he has to be pretty high up in the ranks. He's got to be the one overseeing this process, which is interesting to say the least. Yeah, that's documents that's being blurred out.
This is not working, so. But either button.
And keep in mind that it's been about, where we at with it? It's been about 3 solid minutes since the start time of him being processed, and he hasn't said a word to law enforcement. He has no words for him. I could tell by his posture and everything he's messed up. Probably not even still paying from the car crash. He might still be in pain from the car crash. But it's like, I mean, internally, like what it does to lose a child. What it does to lose a child internally to you, I don't know.
Only second. You're good. No, I was looking at you.
Yeah, I think he's a supervisor capacity because he's not putting his hands on him. He's hands off, and he's looking like hold on. This is one black man looking at another black man. Did y'all catch this? Watch how his face turns when he's looking at the black officer. See him sizing up. See him sizing up the officer. You see him sizing up Buddy in the hat. Yeah, he's not doing well internally. He's not doing well internally.
Yeah. How's that?
The deputies then load Hinton into the van for the trip to the jail in that neighboring county. It's Claremont County.
Yeah.
Welcome to the bank. All right, the easiest way is just turn around and slide in.
They face me and then sit down there and slide.
And then swing your legs around. Need help?
Less than an hour later, Rodney Hinton arrives at the jail.
You able to hold yourself up there?
I'm going to ask you some questions, all right? Do you have a serious medical or mental health issue that needs immediate attention? Is that a yes?
This man doesn't want to talk at all. And honestly, if I'm being handled by the same individuals, you know what I'm saying, that are in the fraternity, the fraternal order of police. Keep in mind, the fraternal order of police. If I'm being handled by the same people in the same fraternity, I probably wouldn't want to talk to him either. I wouldn't want to talk to him either.
Man. Have you recently considered attempted suicide? No. You want to hurt yourself or anybody else? No. Currently taking an addictive substance on opioid therapy? Had any radiation or chemotherapy the past 6 months? You have a pacemaker? You have anything on you that'll cut us or stick us? You have anything on you at all? Okay. We're going to pat you down real quick. Have you ever been here before? No. What all you got going on? I see you got the hospital gown. You're in Claremont County, bud. In Batavia. You able to lift this foot up so I can feel the bottom of your foot? And you're right.
I was wondering who the hell he was talking to, because I'm like, ain't nobody on the other side of that glass. They're asking these questions with his back turned to him. Okay.
Foot.
I was like, what the hell?
Okay. We're going to escort you over to the county. You having trouble walking? Go ahead. We're going to start taking these restraints off of you. What we'll do, I'll have you put your hands up on the counter, okay?
All right. I need you to lift your left foot up a little bit so I can get this shackle off of you. All right. Feeling good, right?
Drag one on this side. Yeah.
Let's place that hand up there.
Here, leave his hands still for a second. Hands up, please.
Yeah.
The next morning, Saturday, May 3rd, deputies took Rodney Hinton to court to answer to the aggravated murder charge.
That's the only thing he said was, can you pull my pants up, please? Those are the only words. Because they were keeping his pants down for, it was kind of egregious, honestly. You know what I'm saying? He was doing stuff with his pants earlier, but they kept the pants down. Should have pulled it up. But, you know, they probably don't want to do anything in favor of him because, well, you took one of their brothers away. Now he got the orange suit. This is a night after being processed and whatnot. So he been in jail, and now he going out for the initial arraignment, I believe. Yeah.
Do your hands for me?
back this way, sir.
I got one of these.
Right around to the back of the van for me, please.
Now they're taking him from the county jail, delivering him to the courthouse.
You have to watch stuff getting up there and keep your head down so that you don't end up popping it on the top of the van, okay? And I'll seatbelt you in once we get you in. Just take your time. I got your back in for balance. I got your back. Watch your head. You got have a seat there for me? You good? Watch stuff. Do me a favor, just turn your head to the right. Turn your head, I'm sorry, to your left. Well, lift your hands. All right, you good?
The deputies make the 40-minute or so drive to the courthouse for the arraignment.
You guys know I'm live. Just so you know.
Ready? Ready? Come on now. Watch your head. Watch your head. Okay, ready? Step down slow. Hey, with this deputy right here, okay?
Come forward a little bit. He's gonna shut the door.
He had to tell the other officers that, you know what I'm saying, he live in case they wanted to do something to him before he got in there.
Good.
But they got cameras. I noticed there's a camera over there. They got cameras all over the courthouse. Any officer trying to do something would be stupid too.
Inside the courtroom, a wall of deputies, colleagues of Larry Henderson's, lined the courtroom. As Hinton was led out of court, he muttered something to the deputies that sounds like going to be gone forever. It is clear Hinton was saying gone forever, but what exactly he was saying isn't clear. The FOP president for Cincinnati Police was told that Hinton said the deputy was going to be gone forever as he was looking at those deputies. He was then driven back to the Claremont County Jail.
So this man doubled down on it. Yeah, a lot of CCTV. A lot of CCTV, Mac. So this man doubled down on it. And this is very important, right? I'll tell you why this is important. When I was growing up, it's crazy all the things that you learned as a kid growing up actually become very important things like manners and whatnot. Because I tell you what I hear gets people messed up in jail a lot of times and prison a lot of times. What gets them messed up more often than not having manners and not showing respect. Like someone did you a solid behind the wall. Someone did you a solid and then you didn't say thank you. You didn't say excuse me. You didn't so much as give somebody the heads up. There's a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot, but there's some institutionalized brothers in my neighborhood, right? I say what's up to everybody. There was some dude, he crossed paths with someone that didn't say what's up to him. And then when he get to me, he wants to start confessing about all the fucked up shit that he gonna do to him just because the nigga didn't say what's up to him. I shit you not. I shit you not. It's like, nah, Omni Buddy ain't good around here. He ain't say what I said what's up to him. He ain't say what's up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get with the boys and jump that nigga. So, like, listen. Yeah, nah. I 100% agree with you, Mac. I agree with you, Marcus. Marcus says an innocent retired cop from a different county, different city deleted in broad daylight because the father and his son at separate times did felonious crimes. The dad kicked out the son out of his... Oh, you got details. I don't. Wait a minute, Mac. You got details. I don't. I didn't know this. But it would make sense. Now it's coming together. You paint the picture for me, dog. I appreciate it. This is what I'm saying. Before we go back to the courthouse, this is what I'm saying. The big picture, right? The big picture, the large picture, as Lux, shout out to Lux. They always say that the child is better off with their father. In most cases. So when we find this to be the situation, he was out with the homies, with a gun, in a stolen car. And he has his father in his life. I'm like, wait, whoa. Hold on. Because I know my dad would beat my whole ass. My dad would give me a military grade ass whooping if I even thought about doing any of this shit. So his father kicked him out of the house. His father was also doing, that's unverified, but I'm gonna bring up your comment again. I'm gonna put it a little higher up. So his dad was doing felonious crimes. This is unverified, by the way. I haven't verified any of this. Actually, I want that above the topics. There you go. So his dad was doing felonious crimes. And the dad kicked him out for doing felonious crimes, for following in his footsteps. Okay. Got you. So the daddy thought he was Ghost and his son was on that Tyreek shit. That's what you saying. The daddy thought he was Ghost from Power. And Lil Tyreek was going to follow in his footsteps. Because that was the example of manhood he got in the home. Got it. Okay. Now it makes more sense. That's why I was going to ask, like, what is the quality of fatherhood what was in the home if the son is out here doing all of this? And is the father actually mad? Is the father actually mad at law enforcement? Or is he mad that he taught his son the wrong way to go? And the son was following in his footsteps. And the son got himself killed for doing the wrong thing. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with that. But as I said when we started this story breakdown, right? This is what I asked when we started the story breakdown. Let's travel with me to the Marvel universe. What if Roy, the son, wasn't in a stolen car, wasn't with the homies, and didn't have a gun? Would he have been in a predicament, anywhere near a predicament that would have led to him no longer being here. I think he would still be here. I think his father wouldn't have had a reason to crash out. And so the police officer that's also missing from this world would also be here. And everybody would be able to live their lives. But now, this is what we got. Let's get back to it because he also got to see the arraignment. But also, I want to ask this question too. Because I'm fair, I'm balanced, I'm impartial. How is this not gang-related activity? I just want to ask, shouldn't this be intimidation? Shouldn't this be a sign of intimidation? Shouldn't this be intimidating the suspect? Because they don't do this for every case of murder. They're just doing this because it's their fallen brother. They're trying to have a show of strength. But I would have did it. I wouldn't have been in there. I would have done it outside the building, not in there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, is this intimidation to the suspect in question? And should this be allowed? And let's say he did this in defense of somebody. Like, let's say the cop was clearly doing egregious behavior, which we know. I'm just keeping up the Marvel Universe theme going that I got going, right? Right. Let's suppose that the killing of the officer was justified. I'm not saying that it isn't because I don't believe that it is. But again, what if? What if the killing of the officer was justified because he caught him in the moment as he was about to unalive his son? Why would they still be doing this? And would this still be done by law enforcement? Like, would they still be doing the blue wall of silence thing? Oh, yeah, I get why they're doing it, Marcus. Absolutely, I get why they're doing it. Marcus says it showed the respect for the slain officer because the officer was known as a good cop, and for the suspect to not have remorse. I don't get mad. Hold on. I don't get mad and won't treat cops and gangbangers in the same group. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that they're gangbangers. I'm saying that, I guess I should have used the word organization, but it doesn't come across the same because, like, companies are organizations as well. So I'm saying the activity, because there are gangs that will do this for their slain brothers if they stuck to the code and all of that. There are gangs out there that will do this, will have this sort of activity as they deliver street justice. What I'm saying is, in the eyes of the law, is this acceptable? And could this be seen as cruel and unusual punishment? Could this be seen as, because he hasn't been sentenced yet. This is before his arraignment. So he's only been charged with the crime. This sort of act, like, you know what I'm saying? This is the type of thing when people talk about people being seen as guilty before innocent, when you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So that's what I'm questioning. I'm not questioning. And also, let's be clear. He clearly did it because he was seen in the car and they extracted him from the car of doing it. So all of this is really a formality because we know that he ran over that officer. But in the what if, you know what I'm saying, in the what if universe, what if it was justified? Would they still be doing this? And is this acceptable for them to do every time an officer has been slain? Even if they know that that officer wasn't a good one. That's what I want to know. Just some food for thought. But let's get to the nitty gritty of, you know, the initiation of the formalities.
Mr. Bennett, at the prior hearing before today.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Have a seat, sir. Sit down.
And that dude ain't helping nothing knocking on the glass like that. It's like, yo, that's a dude from the block that he know and he know. So they're gesturing back and forth. Like he understands that they're together, but yeah, this ain't good.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Have a seat, sir. Sit down.
Oh, someone said that's his brother.
Then a detective testified about what he says Hinton did last Friday when he drove into Deputy Henderson.
Tell me what he did after he stopped.
So based on witness statements as well as the video, the vehicle accelerated quickly, proceeded eastbound, crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic when there was no longer traffic to obstruct his travel. Crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic, went to the left of those little stanchions that are in the middle of the roadway, into the oncoming lanes, through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing, struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Okay. Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
And is that the conclusion that our accident reconstructionists have come to at this point?
At this time, yes.
Okay. And does it appear from your review of the video that he headed straight for Deputy Henderson?
Yes.
And did any of the multiple witnesses that you spoke to and the people that were in the vehicles that were surrounding him, the people that were on scene, did anyone indicate that any attempt to slow down or deviate his path straight to Deputy Henderson?
No, everybody said that he accelerated and was traveling at a high rate of speed all the way up until the time that he struck Deputy Henderson.
Hinton's attorney argued that he should get bail, saying he may have mental health problems.
Judge, one of the factors with respect to the Ohio Revised Code in detaining a person with no bond is his mental condition.
That's already out. That's already out. And I'm gonna tell you why that's already out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you in the same video why that's already out. What was one of the first questions that was asked when they made it to the jail? When they made it to the jail for him to get processed, what was one of the first questions that they asked him? That's now on record on video. Check it out.
Hold yourself up there. I'm going to ask you some questions, all right? You have a serious medical or mental health issue that needs immediate attention? Is that a yes or a no? Have you recently considered attempted suicide?
Kind of shook his head and shrugged his shoulders like, I don't know. Now, the only thing that they can say is temporary insanity after getting his son shot. Seeing his son shot. That's the only thing that they could possibly argue, but I don't know how well that's going to hold up in court. I really don't.
Solution our accident reconstructionists have come to at this point.
Revised code and the
speed all the way up until the time that.
one of the factors with respect to the Ohio Revised Code and detaining a person with no bond is his mental condition. That has to be explored. His mental condition. What was his mental condition at the time he committed this offense? It's stated in the statute. It's 2937.22. I believe it's C3, the character, physical, and mental condition of the defendant or the accused. That's at issue.
I believe that the witness indicated that his opinion was that the act was intentional.
Right. And in making that opinion about whether or not it's intentional, you need to know the mindset or the mens rea of the person that you're claiming intended to do this. Was he in his right mind? That's relevant with respect to your bond determination.
I'll sustain the objection.
Rodney Hinton is currently being held without bail. His case will be presented to the grand jury. Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich has indicated she will likely pursue the death penalty. Larry Henderson had retired in December from the sheriff's office, where he had worked for many, many years.
He was a 33-year career deputy for our department. He retired approximately 5 months ago, and he continued to serve under oath, and he was directing traffic that day at what would have been a very, very joyous occasion for the University of Cincinnati graduates. Unfortunately, you know what unfolded, and we have lost Larry. Larry has been a deputy who has been so extraordinary. We've retired his badge number 129 will be retired.
Oh man, this man was model. I need to look up his history. They retired. I've never heard of this. Have y'all ever heard of this? Have y'all ever heard of they retired his badge number like a ball player. I've never heard of that. I've only heard of that in terms of athletics. I've never heard about this as far as, you know, an officer retired from the force. I've never heard about getting your badge number retired. I've never heard of that. That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. And I be watching my true crimes. All around, this is a sad situation. I'm gonna drop this and we're gonna close out here because I got some things to do and tend to. But all around, these are some sad situations, man. I don't think people are thinking with their right mind. Everybody wants to do the revenge thing. It's like, oh, an eye for an eye should be an eye for an eye. Well, if it's an eye for an eye, let it be an eye for an eye all the way. What do you mean by that, Omni? Well, I mean, if you were going to do eye for an eye, at least get the guy that got your son at bare minimum. Now that you took away a model citizen, a model police officer, somebody that ain't never did wrong to nobody, he was retired. He went back just to do traffic enforcement, so he got the retirement money, and he was picking up some extra bread just directing traffic at a school event, at a college graduation. You saw the guy that's directing traffic and you was like, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. But you didn't get the actual. So now this is, your house has to suffer the loss of 2 males. Because I don't know if you have a wife. No, I did research. You do have a wife, sir. Rodney Hinton has a wife. So now that wife lost both her son and now she lost her husband as well. And people are saying father of the year, father of the year. Nah, this is very selfish. This is what happens when men move on emotion. This was something very different. This was something very different. I don't know if Roy, the son, had siblings, but now where does this leave the siblings now that their father, the head of household, is going to pay the ultimate price for the ultimate crash out on an innocent individual that had nothing to do with nothing that was going on with you and your family? So as much as at first I was like, oh, okay, I can see why he did it. When this story first came across my desk, now I'm like, there's nothing for me to respect about this situation at all. There's nothing for me. You wanted to take a jab at the organization. All you did was embolden these people. You hurt them, but then they're going to come back. They're going to crack down harder. They're going to be less lenient on the next guy. They're going to do even probably lash out and do more egregious things in the neighborhood or feel like they want to. This doesn't give them a good example of why they should treat black people well. I can tell you that much. Now they're in an emotional state like you are in an emotional state, and they're liable to do. Where does the eye for the eye thing usually end? With the whole world being blind. Because I cost Mac, then he takes my eye, then I take his eye, then he's completely blind. And then one of his family members feels like doing something to one of my family members, and it just goes back and forth. Tit for tat. But you know what? This ain't that. Worry Observations, Righteous Discussions, Unite People. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I've been your host, OMNIETC, Omni, etc. Check out all that the Omniverse has to offer at OMNIETC.com. Got some goodies for you on that. Word Up Podcast. Gonna try to knock out one of these every week and then clip it out throughout the week so you can catch the recaps throughout the week if you didn't catch the actual show. Get with me in the comment. I want to hear what your take is on this situation, on these situations. And are these people, should people be more accountable or less accountable as a result of what we see going on here? Are these people in these clips are they holding themselves accountable for their actions? Or are they just, you know what I'm saying? Well, not the girls, but this story in particular, this last story, Rodney Hinton, did he just lash out at the world because he felt some type of way? And men that respond with emotionality are typically the most dangerous things. That's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is down in the comment. Shout out to everybody that came through. We're going to recap everybody that came through to holler at me. And I've been out for a minute. I wasn't expecting a single person to show up for this show. But I appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace, love, and respect. My man Cellulite Podcast came through. Mac, Marcus Antonio Castillo. Shout out to you. Christopher J, salute to you, sir. Appreciate you stopping by. And the homegirl, Natasha Vincent, hailing out of Canada. Listen, Natasha, if you're still with us, or if you see this on the replay, just because there's tension between the countries right now doesn't mean that you're not welcome in the Omniverse at any point in time. You are forever welcome in the Omniverse. You know what I'm saying? At any point in time. Shout out to everybody that came through. Love you all. Appreciate you all. It's the Word Up Podcast. And we are out.